And what's up, everybody? Back with another episode of the Talk and NASCAR podcast, episode number 53. And as I promised in last week's episode, Hitmaster's back. Yay! We're
I
back.
was asleep last part.
Oh, well.
I just
We're all tired, we gotta sleep. Oh, it's okay. Anyway,
uh,
we have a lot, and I mean a lot, to talk about this week. We're going to recap everything that happened at Bristol, including who got eliminated in the Cup playoffs, and just everything that went down. Lot of news to talk about too. Lots of controversy and silly season stuff came up. So that a lot to talk about there. And then at the end, we will preview. We'll take a look. We'll do the playoff outlook again. Now for all three, and we'll preview Texas. So,
Texas.
I knew you were going to say that. So, let's jump right into it, shall we? So, it feels like forever ago since Bristol happened. I got to watch I got to watch the second half of the trucks. I didn't get to watch any of the Xfinity. Or no, did I watch? No. Shit. Which one did I watch all the... I watched all the Xfinity, and I missed about 100 so laps of the Cup race. But I got to see the rest of it. So, I actually got to see more this weekend than I thought. I don't know how much of Bristol you got to watch, but...
I didn't get to watch any of it. I turned it on, and then all of a sudden they said, who made it in? And they showed a picture of somebody, and I'm just like, tire race. Ugh.
Oh, well. But anyway, in the truck race, from what I watched, because again, I only watched about the second half of it, Christian Eckes dominated, but he dominated. But Corey Heim actually made a late pass for the win and was able to take control over the last few laps of the race and was able to get the victory and advance to the final four for the truck series. He's the first driver to clinch a spot in the truck Final Four. Other than that, I mean, the action for the truck race wasn't too spectacular. I saw like one spin. I don't know how many there were before I started watching, but it wasn't necessarily bad racing. Lots of bumpers being used as you would expect at Bristol, so wasn't really terrible there. But just a lot of green flag strategy took effect there. So. And then in the Xfinity, Parker Kligerman, who barely made it into the playoffs for the Xfinity Series, had a horrible start to his playoff run. I think he was the only. He DNF'd pretty early, had a mechanical problem. It was a disastrous night for Junior Motorsports as Josh Berry, Sam Mayer, and Brandon Jones all got into a crash midway through the race, eliminating them. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was back in the car racing the Xfinity race, and he had a legitimate shot to win. He had a very fast car. He was dominating the race, and then the engine blew up, and his car caught fire, and he actually burnt a hole in the pants of his fire suit, which NASCAR is actually examining. But that was a horrible end to an otherwise great race by Dale Earnhardt Jr. I didn't expect him to run that well. I expected him to do about mid-pack, maybe contend a little bit, but he was dominating near the end. I was like, he's going to win this fucking race. I'm going to watch him win a race. And it didn't happen. And then it was also a disastrous night for RCR as both of their cars got caught up in an accident together as well. But I said earlier how it was a disastrous night for Junior Motorsports. They had 5 cars in the race, 4 of them DNF'd, and the other one won the race. Justin Allgaier was able to make a pass in the final 20 laps of the race and was able to pull away and get the win and advance to the next round of the playoffs. So,
wasn't he the other driver that needed to win to make it in? I know there was a Junior Motorsports driver that had to win.
Not in the first round. So,
Oh.
well, not in the first race of the first round, I should say. But Josh Berry and Sam Mayer did not help their case at all. I think Mayer's okay because he had a good buffer, but can't think of his name. Josh Berry is in a little bit of trouble now too. So, and Parker Kligerman is in a lot of trouble. So, there you go. But and then we're on to the Cup race, the most suspenseful race of the weekend. Rain threatened the race so much that they had to push the start of the race up an hour, which I was not happy about at all. But you do what you got to do, I guess. And so I guess even with that, they still had a rain delay and they still had other things going on, but was able to watch most of it. And Joey Logano, I was so happy. Logano had his playoff hopes dashed with a wreck.
That out.
That was very, very, very satisfying to see. Kevin Harvick had a lot of problems as well during the race. He just never really had found any speed in his car, and he found himself 5 laps down at one point. So his sadly his run is what a chance for a second and final championship also came to an end. Ricky Stenhouse had a pretty decent night, all things considered, but he was an all but in a must-win situation and wasn't able to capitalize, and so he also got eliminated. And Michael McDowell also made a really strong run at the second round, got a top 5 finish at Bristol, but he was in a must-win situation as well and was not able to get in. And those,
For some reason, I just thought when you said Ricky Stenhouse, I thought that he was still driving the 17 for some reason.
Oh no. Maybe he wishes he was.
Dang it! All that win at Michigan was for nothing. But then I realized, oh wait, that's Christopher Bell, or not Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher. What am I doing? I'm tired.
Aren't we all? But no, those were the 4 drivers eliminated. So really, I don't think McDowell, Stenhouse, Hart, and Harvick are very are like surprises to be eliminated. Logano I did have going to the second round, but not past that, so not so much of a surprise. It was a little unlucky, got caught up in an accident and everything, but
this does mean though that now that Joey Logano's out, we will not have a back-to-back champion. We will have a new NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Right. Yeah. Well, it might not be new, but it will be not the same one.
Right.
So, but Bubba Wallace, who I expected to be terrible in this first round, moved on pretty handily. Martin Truex escaped what would have been the choke of the century, barely advancing to the second round, only on a few points as well. But as for the race, Hamlin dominated the final stage. He wasn't necessarily super competitive in the first couple of stages of the race, but he was able to dominate the last one and was able to get the win pretty handily. Outside of the wreck that took out Joey Logano, there wasn't a lot of other crashes or big things that necessarily happened during the race. The focus was definitely on the weather, but also the playoff battle. So nothing else really to document there. But overall, we gotta remember the short track package is not that great. And this, I think, was a better overall race than what we saw last year. Though I would have preferred a different result than Denny Hamlin winning the race. But you can't have all good things in the world. But I think overall, again, it was a better race. Oh, great racing Great racing weekend, I think, overall. The trucks had some pretty exciting racing despite not a lot of crashes. A lot of drama in the Xfinity race, too. A lot of up and down storylines going on there. So overall, a decent weekend for Bristol. And the last night race weekend of the season. So that's what I gotta say there. I don't know if you have any other points to add about that Hitmaster, but before we move on,
I'm just surprised that Wallace made it in. Um, I don't know when his luck is gonna go out, but it's gonna be soon. I'm telling you, if he makes it to the final four, somehow, some way, just because of one singular point or two singular points, three. Uh,
Right.
I mean, I don't hate him. I just dislike him.
He, I give him credit though. I mean, not a lot of people are giving him a chance, and he went
Right.
on, moved on. Capitalized on other people's misfortune, but that's what you got to do in this format of the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see how that carries over into the to the second round, though. Okay, with Bristol in the books, let's get to a very eventful week for silly season and controversy, among other things. First off, we keep talking about Bristol. So one of the bigger news pieces, the Bristol Dirt Race is officially no more. It is being axed. Both races will be back on the concrete starting next year. That means this guy right here went to the last ever Bristol dirt race, which is very crazy to think about.
And that I got a piece of a dirt track, of the dirt track. So,
That's pretty
let's hope I
crazy.
still have it, actually. I should still have it somewhere. I'll look for it later and then show it on next week's podcast. But yeah, just thinking about that is just amazing.
It's pretty
I wouldn't
wild.
expect that.
It's pretty wild, not gonna lie. As far as the logistical standpoint, I mean, this makes the most sense. The Bristol Dirt Race was not very well received in the few years that they had it going. Though, I hate to say it, but it's true. The dirt race was better than the concrete every race, and with this next gen car.
See, the thing with that is, too, it was good, but I think why they don't have it anymore is because there wasn't a lot of fans at that dirt race. There wasn't that much people going to that. Maybe the inaugural when COVID was hitting, and if COVID didn't hit, maybe, just maybe, there would be packed of people. But I mean, there wasn't a lot of people there. And
Well,
I looked at it.
it's also on Easter Sunday, and it's early in the year, so it's still, even for Tennessee, it's still pretty cold, and it's a dirt race, and it's just a gimmick thing, and so you think you combine all those factors, that's why you're getting, and also just general decline for NASCAR. I think you get those attendance. Well, I guess not really much of a decline anymore. I think NASCAR's on the upswing again a little bit, but I think that's where the attendance figures start to show. So, but putting it on Easter Sunday was kind of setting it up to fail, and so and there you go. But I'm not gonna miss it. But it was kind of fun. I do hope this is not the end of dirt racing, though. Ever, please go to Eldora. It's meant to be a dirt track. It is a lot more popular, and and it's it doesn't do. You just go to Eldora. It's done
Trucks already
NASCAR.
go there.
Yeah, exactly. NASCAR already goes there. Take the cup cars there. I mean, like, because I think the dirt racing gimmick is cool. Because the Bristol dirt races were pretty fun. It's just fans are not necessarily mad at the dirt racing part. They're mad that they had to sacrifice a Bristol race to get one. So putting it on a track that doesn't have pavement, is only dirt, Eldora, would, I think, fix the problem and be a true. And if you don't put it on Easter Sunday, which is another mistake, you're giving it a fair chance and really be able to succeed, which I think it will.
I think they should, since they go to Texas twice, I think they should take the Texas race and move it to a playoff race, and then take the other Texas race and put it as Eldora, because then that would make more sense. Because then more people are going to go to the playoff race to see, okay, who's going to be going into the next round, who's going to win this race, and more people are going to go to Eldora because that's warm weather. So, I mean,
Yeah.
And also, Tony Stewart owns that track, so I don't know why NASCAR would not go there if Tony Stewart's a Hall of Famer.
Right. I definitely think it's something they're considering, but we'll see. But no more Bristol dirt, so that's the big thing. Some other silly season stuff. Um, Daniel Hemrick is been announced as a full-time Cup driver next season. He will be running the Colleague 31 car. That's been a open slot for a while. After it was announced that Justin Haley was going down to Rick Ware Racing. So that seat has been now filled. I don't know if Hemrick is necessarily ready for the Cup Series. I think by now he did win a championship, and he won one race, and that was the championship race. And so, yeah, but he's still decent. So I think he definitely has the potential to make a run at it. And the 31 car is not necessarily horrible equipment to start with either. So, Spire Motorsports also bought Live Fast Racing's Cup charter for $40 million. Holy crap. And that's for Live Fast Motorsports. I can't imagine what like the Stuart Haas charters that are rumored to be sold. Like, I wonder what those cost. Like, that's
Probably 100 mil.
that's crazy. Speaking of Spire Motorsports, Zane Smith signed an extension to keep running with Trackhouse Racing. Trackhouse and Spire Racing also announced an alliance with Smith running Spire for the Cup Series next year, 2024. He'll be in the 77 Cup ride. This is an interesting alliance. Trackhouse is one of the more up-and-coming teams in NASCAR, still pretty young. Spire is still, while relatively young, older than, and they're not nearly as successful, in my opinion, as Trackhouse has been, though. I guess I don't know how really successful Trackhouse has been this year. Well, I guess they've won a couple races, so it can't be that bad. But it's a little bit of a weird alliance. Maybe it helped boost Spire. Maybe that's what they're looking for here. Get some extra space in the board. I guess that's a good way to put it, maybe. I have no idea. But so that was a pretty big thing. So we'll just keep going. Some other silly season stuff. Lane Riggs, son of Scott Riggs, you remember him from a long time ago in the Cup. He's going to be in the number 11 Xfinity car for 3 races this season, starting this weekend at Texas. So that'll be cool. See what he can do in the car there. Also running at Texas, Daniel Dye, a regular in the Truck Series, will be making his Xfinity debut in the 44 car this weekend, in the Xfinity race. And also, there's a Pringles car now. Sammy Smith has got Pringles on the car this weekend for the truck race.
I need to look at
Or
this.
for the Xfinity race at this weekend. It looks beautiful, and I know it's not this weekend. It's at Martinsville, but it's in the Xfinity series. It looks really good, and I'm probably gonna have to buy it if it comes out as a die-cast, which I really hope it does. And it's quite a marvel. I should say that. I love it. I love that we got a Mountain Dew car at Bristol back on the car, and now Pringles. Yes, like two of my favorite things. Two of my favorite things in the world. Pringles and NASCAR coming together. It's a dream come true for me. Yay!
I'm telling you, I'm buying it too.
You have to buy it. Like, it's so beautiful. You have to buy it.
I've had this in my thing for a very long time, and I've been wanting to show you this. So it's a pop socket, but
where did you find that?
Found this at Five Below. They had a Hershey's one and they had a Doritos one, but I picked up this one.
Awesome.
So I keep it right next to me so I can say I'm part of the Pringles.
True. Let's continue with more silly season stuff. Got a little bit more. Matt Benedetto, he was back in the news because he announced he wasn't going to be returning to Rackley WAR. Well, after that, he has now been released from the team and will not run the remaining 3 races of the season. As of the time of recording this, it has not been announced what is going to happen to De Benedetto. He does not have another ride lined up. And it is also not announced who is going to run the rest of the season for the 25 truck at Rackley WAR. Or if they're going to even run the rest of the season at all, which I would assume they would be. I mean, they did make the playoffs this year, so you probably want to run the whole season. But so that was pretty big news. It's kind of sucks for De Benedetto because, like, he even though you got eliminated from the playoffs and you know you're not coming back next season, you still want to go out on a high note with your team, and you want to finish the season, maybe get another win, show how you can succeed, and see what other teams might be able to pick you up in either Truck, Xfinity, or even go back to the Cup Series. And it just sucks that he's not getting that chance. I don't know like the whole story or any like the sides of the story. Maybe there was something going on that is not being like released or information, but that still sucks for De Benedetto. So and that's all the silly season stuff. Let's get down to some other news here. We got some really sad news coming out of NASCAR, actually. Sherry Pollux passed away from ovarian cancer the other day at 44. If you don't know who that is, she was a longtime girlfriend of Martin Truex and was a big member of the sport with her foundations and stuff with cancer and getting everything and supporting people who have it and working with different foundations along that line. And she's going to be very dearly missed by everybody in the NASCAR community, except one person. Danica Patrick decided to make a rather heinous comment on her Instagram story after the news was released of Sherry's death. And yeah, people are not happy, as they should be. I think Danica's comment, I don't remember it word for word. I might try and look it up. I'm going to look it up.
I'm looking it up now.
Oh, okay, good. It was very insensitive and really just out there. It did not make any sense at all why she said it. Like, Danica must have been smoking something, I'll just say that. But the scrutiny is definitely justified and just completely unnecessary. But yeah, Sherry will be missed. Very big influence on the sport, and it will really suck. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for Hitmaster to find it. Hitmaster's gonna find this real quick before we continue.
I mean, go ahead and continue. It's gonna be a minute before I can.
I only have a few other news things. When we get to them real quickly. Another thing, the Clash is going back to the LA Coliseum in 2024. That was announced. The NASCAR Mexico Series will also be racing at the Coliseum on the same weekend as the Clash. That's a new thing. So that'll be pretty cool. Give that a little bit of extra exposure. The Clash has been a very controversial race at the Coliseum. But they're going back and see how it goes this next year. And then we did have we had a couple other things. We had a penalty post Bristol for the Truck Series. The 2 and 17 truck teams were both penalized for loose lug nuts. After Bristol, each crew chief was fined $2,500. And Road America is expected to have 0 NASCAR dates in 2024. We already know that it lost its Cup date, but still had its Xfinity date this year. Now it's expected to lose its Xfinity date as well. That's just a big slap in the face to everybody there. It was in the Wisconsin NASCAR community. Even, well, I guess the Milwaukee Mile's back, so it's not like they're completely leaving Wisconsin. But that kind of sucks. It put on a couple pretty good races, especially this last one was really good, and it's no more. It's not confirmed, I should say, but it's expected to be. But we won't know officially probably until the schedule comes out for next season. And then the only other thing I had, Tyler Reddick is running a Jordan Luca 2 paint scheme at Texas. If you don't know what this is, it's okay. I didn't either until I looked it up. It's a shoe. It's a shoe, and it's like, and the car is designed like how the shoe is painted. It looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. But especially for a Texas race, but that's what it's a little bit weird of a partnership, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's everything that I had for news. Yeah, looks like that's everything. Lots of stuff with silly season going on, and I think it's only going to intensify over the next few weeks as more stuff starts to fall into place. So should be good there. But Hitmaster, have you found the quote, the situation?
I found what Truex released, but that's not. Aha, here it is. This is what she said. She says, I avoid negatively on social at almost all costs, almost. But this is the most insensitive, disconnected statement from a guy that I have never liked, and obviously for a good reason. I don't care what happened between them, but this is as cold as it gets. A PR rep wrote this guaranteed. You're free from this now, Sherry. The fuck is wrong with you?
Like, the statement is not like very disconnected. It's very heartfelt. Now, it must be known that Truex and Pollux were not dating at this point. They had split a couple of years ago, but remained very close friends. But still, I just don't know why Danica Patrick would say something like that. It just seems very, very insensitive. And she's getting a lot of rightful scrutination about it on social media. So, but again, that's really all we had for news. Unless you had something, Hitmaster, you wanted to comment on any of the other silly season or anything else.
Trying to look around to see if anything I'm missing. No, doesn't look like it. You know what? This isn't NASCAR related, but I'll show it anyways. Hold on.
I'm intrigued.
Also, I do not have the poker chips this week. It's kind of put somewhere. I don't know where. I forgot where I put it, but sadly, we do not have the poker chips today. So I got this a couple weeks ago, and it's a football ring from my fantasy.
Oh, damn.
That I won in 2021. But
that's pretty damn good. Nice ring.
Would you look at that? It has a chip in it. Well, that's fun.
Oh, wild.
But other than that, nothing really.
Nothing Corgan Oil related or anything that you had?
Possibly. Because I heard from someone, because there's a guy that always comes in to my work. You know, he works at, like, this company that can go all around the world. So he went to Indiana, to help with a racetrack. Went to Ohio to do a racetrack. He's been at Corrigan Oil. He went to work at MIS. So, I mean, he's working all around. So, I mean, good for him. Doing what he loves to do. The only thing that they posted was thank you, all drivers, fans, officials, staff, teams, volunteers, everyone, for the wonderful memories made and kindness shown to all of us at a place we all hold dear to our hearts, Spartan Speedway. This is not a good sign for some people. Could this mean that this track is no more?
I don't think so. I think they would have made an announcement if it was going to be its last race.
What I think it is since this is the last year of their sponsor, they're saying the Corrigan Oil team is saying that, but still, it's very scary at the moment. And then you have all the owners, but other than that, they haven't posted anything. I know they're supposed to have monster trucks soon at that track, so that will be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
They also they're supposed to have a concert there. So, would you look at that? On September 8th, their last thing, they said rain or sun, it's night of destruction. So no matter if it was raining or not, they were still.
Interesting. Well, I guess if we don't have any other news or anything like that, we can go over the newly structured playoff grids post Bristol.
And let's look at that.
Start with the truck series. I know they're in race 2 of their next round now, with Corey Heim already advanced to the final 4. But I don't know.
Right now in the final 4 is, you're correct, Corey Heim, trying to do everything in his power to stay in that lead. With second place, 29 points ahead, Christian Eckes. Then you got Carson Hosfar in third, and fourth, Grant Infinger. Which is, remember, GMS.
So last season, yeah.
So they're trying to win their last championship. Zane Smith is 14 points behind. Ben Rhodes is 19 points behind. And Nick Sanchez and Ty Majeski are 22 points behind. So, and then their next race is Talladega. So anything could go.
Yeah, they're off this weekend, but back at Talladega. And then the Xfinity grid, I think they're in their
be a lot of shakeup.
Second race in their first round too. So
in first place, you got, of course, Justin Allgaier, a junior motorsports driver. Then you got John Hunter Nemechek, 65 points behind or above the cutoff. So he's most likely going to get in this next race if he does good. Cole Custer is in third with 39 points ahead. Austin Hill is in fourth with 21 points ahead. That's funny. He's 21 points ahead and his number is 21. Chandler Smith is fifth with 18 points ahead. Daniel Hemrick in sixth with 12 points ahead. Sammy Smith in seventh, 5 points ahead. Let's hope he can win with that Pringles car at Martinsville.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
It would be. Then maybe people would come watch us.
We got to get on a car. Got to sponsor a car.
We did.
Exposure.
Then you got Sheldon Creed 4 points ahead the cutoff. Now for the bubble. You got Jeb Burton 4 points behind the cutoff. Sam Mayer, who is 14 points. That's the other junior motorsports. Parker Kligerman, who is 22 points behind. And Josh Berry, who is 24 points behind. He is the other junior motorsports driver. Their next race is Texas. And then the Cup Series with the loss of, if they would show me, hold on, with the loss of Michael McDowell, Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Joey Logano. That puts into the round of 12 William Byron in first, 25 points. Same thing with Martin Truex. Denny Hamlin with 21 points ahead. Kyle Larson, 12 points ahead. Chris Buescher, 10 points ahead. Kyle Busch, who is 8 points ahead, which I'm surprised he's still ahead. Chris Buescher, who is 5 points ahead. Tyler Reddick, who is 3 points. And then you got a tie for ninth with Brad Keselowski and Ross Chastain, 3 points behind the cutoff. Ryan Blaney, 6 points behind the cutoff. And then 14 points behind the cutoff, surprisingly, Bubba Wallace. And they're going, same thing, to Texas. So, there's your playoff standings for the round of 12.
All right, interesting. So a lot of shakeup going on there, and I can't believe I almost forgot about this. But last week, NASCAR Arcade Rush debuted. It's actually 20% off on Steam already. So
I watched someone play it, and they said that they hated it so badly.
So if you want it for $40 on Steam, there you go. I was gonna read a couple of reviews. I don't know. We can read a Metacritic review. How about that? It's averaging a 7 out of 10 right now, by the way. Alright, latest critic review. Got a 70 on Metacritic. NASCAR Arcade Rush lives up to its name and delivers... Lives up to its name and delivers a fun, non-simulation racing game that features reimaginings of some of the most iconic racing tracks in the USA. However, it isn't outlandish and exciting enough to completely win over an average arcade racing game fan, nor is it a love letter enough to NASCAR to make it a must-own game for stock car racing enthusiasts. Instead, it's in the middle ground, where if you dig both, then you'll have a good time, but you'll still find yourself moving on to other games sooner rather than later. That seems like a pretty good explanation of it. View all. Let's view some more.
It would be better than
What the fuck is this? I don't want this.
Unleashed would be better.
What the fuck? I want to read more. Oh, there's only one review. Only one review on Metacritic. That's not... Oh, wait, no. User reviews. Here we go. There are no user reviews. Okay. Well, we're going to go... Okay, we're going to read a PlayStation Lifestyle one review then. It's titled NASCAR Arcade Rush Review PS5. More right than left. Oh, boy. NASCAR games are... Oh, this is a long-ass article. I don't know. I'm not going to read all this. I'm just going to read the final verdict. NASCAR Arcade Rush lives up to its name and delivers a fun, non-simulation racing game that features reimaginings. It's the same thing as the Metacritic score. What? Why? Oh, God. The graphics look terrible. Oh, God. But yeah, I'm not buying it. I wasn't really going to buy it.
I'd rather you get Unleashed than that crap.
Joke's on you. I already have Unleashed on the 3DS. So.
It's good. I like it on the Wii.
It's fun. It's not great, but it's fun. So, and that's really all you can ask for a video game. If I'm going to play a NASCAR video game, I'm just going to race the truck, okay? All right, NASCAR 06. You're mine now. I'm going to race the truck. Anyway.
Or you could, play a lot of Dirt to Daytona and do a oh my.
Oh my, yes. Let's get some mods going in there. Anyway, enough of that. But
well, no, it's oh dear.
Oh dear. But anyways, we want to know what your guys' thoughts. If you have had the unfortunate or fortunate experience of playing NASCAR Arcade Rush so far, the first week, what are your thoughts on it? Because we don't want to spend $40 or God forbid $60 on this game, or $50 right now. Maybe if we win the lottery though, we'll get it. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe we won't. Who knows? But unless you had anything else to add, Hitmaster, diecast you got, merchandise you got, things you want to say, anything else?
Sadly, I still do not have the NASCAR from my grandparents' house, mostly because I've asked them and they haven't got them to me yet. So hopefully I will get to that. And also, hopefully I can get that Pringles car when it comes out.
Yeah, I don't expect it to come out till after the race. So we got at least like a month and a little over a month. But I hope it gets
We
made.
also got to check to see if that Detroit Pistons won.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it coming out yet. But if it's coming out, I'm getting it. Because I want it. I need it. I need the Pistons car.
I need it.
I don't need the Pistons car, but I really want it. And is that not enough? You know?
Right. Okay. So far, I do not see it on the thing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. My hope continues to drain for it. We've been about a month and a half since the race, and still nothing. So that kind of sucks. Maybe soon though. Who knows? Always gotta hold out a little bit of hope. So, but if we don't have anything else, then we can jump into our race predictions this weekend for Texas. Like I said, the Truck Series is off this weekend, so it's just the Xfinity and Cup Series racing. And, it's Texas. What more is there to say that hasn't been said yet? Boring racing. And that's really it. But it is the playoffs, so hopefully a little bit more intensity comes of that way. And maybe we'll have a miracle this year and Texas can be good again, because we all know it used to be good at one point, and maybe, just maybe, it can happen again. But let's drop our Xfinity predictions first. Who do you got this weekend, Hitmaster?
I've got Josh Berry.
Interesting. If he doesn't do good this weekend, he's going to be in a must-win scenario. So, urgency's picking up for sure. I'm going to pick Old Reliable and pick John Hunter Nemechek to win his 7th race of the season. He's put on a clinic, and this seems like a track where the drivers who have been putting on a clinic all season are going to continue to put on a clinic. So, not much of a change there. So, and then the Cup race, first race of the second round. Who do we have this weekend?
Since we do not have the poker chips, I'll just go with. I'm gonna go with Martin Truex.
That would be a very special win, considering what happened this week, and it would definitely be a very popular one. I'll be rooting for him for sure. So that would be a very, very nice
Winning a
win.
championship would be good too.
It would be good. But Truex is not really a bad pick regardless of the situation either. So that's good. I think I am going to pick. You know, since there's not the poker chips this weekend and I never get to pick this driver, and good God, he's going to have to win a race at some point this season, picking Chase Elliott to win. Like,
Imagine
that would be
if
crazy.
just one time he wins.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. Unless he dumps Martin Truex for the win. I wouldn't mind it otherwise. But anyways, that's really all we had this week for the Talking NASCAR podcast. Thank you to Hitmaster for coming back on as always. Go drop a sub to him. We want to know your thoughts on NASCAR Arcade Rush, so drop them down in the comments section below. And if you would like to be a guest on the Talking NASCAR podcast, all you got to do is join the Pringleson & Company Discord server. Link is in the description below. Request the Talking NASCAR role. We'll get it to you, and we'll work out a time for you to be on the podcast and get on. So, but anyways, that's going to do it for this week's episode, and that's going to do it for this video. So stay tuned for much more amazing content coming between me and Hitmaster and the rest of the crew. And until next week, we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.